they're sitting there during my listing presentation talking about all the great things the Fontaine team does, and we do great things here. And all they're thinking sometimes in their head is, what am I going to do with all my shit?
This is Davy's Doghouse. If you're a home seller or soon to be one, we'll throw you a bone.
Hey everybody, Davey Dog here, Dave Foster, Fontaine Family, the real estate leader. I'm a full-time professional realtor in the state of Maine, and I help my clients sell for a lot of money using video first marketing. And I'm here with Tom Murphy from the Clean Estate, and I've used Tom quite a few times to help me out with clients who either need to get all the stuff out of their house, trash out kind of stuff, right up to an estate sale where they have fine pieces of antiques that need to be sold. So Tom, thanks for being in the doghouse today. And if you could just tell me quickly, how did you get into this, and what do you do? What is the scope of your business?
So what we do is we're a estate sale company, but we're kind of more of a full service, one-stop shop type of thing for the client and the real estate agent. What we try to do is take our services and customize them to the needs of the client. An estate sale, everybody naturally assumes that someone has passed away, and a lot of times that can be the case. But an estate sale is just the liquidation of assets. Mm-hmm. So when we come in, we take a look at what the client needs, and we work with their realtor to try and get, the perfect service for them. Some people may be moving to Florida and want to liquidate the stuff that they have up here in Maine. So they will be getting rid of, a large majority of the things, except for personal items are going to be written with them. Sometimes we're coming in and, unfortunately someone has passed and we're liquidating the entire estate. And each estate is different, people have different things. And we come in and we will give them obviously a free, consultation, see what they have there, see what service will work. I mean, we can do everything from estate sale, clean out, trash removal. We do have some cleaning services that we do provide too, because we also have a full-scale cleaning company. We also can do minor repairs and things like that, some yard work and stuff like that, to work with the real estate agent to make sure that the house goes for the optimum amount of money, and the client and the real estate agent is both happy.
Nice. And that's what I was going to ask you a little bit. So your background is in, I know your family comes from an antique background, right?
That's
You've
correct.
had some experience over multiple generations in learning about values of things, because that's important, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go in and say, oh yeah, that's a bureau, you can have it for this, when it could be worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and so that's the biggest part of it, is knowing what you have. The biggest thing I always offer this tip is to, one, do not throw anything away. You talked about an antique bureau that could be worth a lot of money, but people also forget that a lot of the money we make are in their kitchen cabinets. There's a lot of money in the kitchen cabinets, in these storage closets, stuff like that. People will literally come in, Dave, I'm not kidding, and buy the laundry detergent, the light bulbs, paper plates, utensils. They buy all these things, and at first it caught me off guard, and I was like, why are people buying this stuff? Well, if you go look right now, a bottle of laundry detergent is like $24 for one of those big things. And people will literally come in there and buy all that stuff. And that's just stuff that, because a lot of times, what do you do with that stuff? It goes into a dumpster, goes into a landfill. And, my motto is let's have these people pay us to remove this stuff. Let's have them, pay to take the stuff out. The client makes money, we make money, and the stuff gets removed. It doesn't end up in a landfill. So it's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
And to speak a little bit about my background. So, as you know, I'm a local police officer. My father was a police officer, my grandfather was a police officer, and great-grandfather. My mother owned 2 antique stores. And so my father used to help her refinish furniture and stuff like that. So I grew up with both bugs. Mm-hmm. I became a policeman as soon as my dad gave me the final okay there. And, I always had the little side businesses of, hustling antiques and stuff like that. And, things have changed over the years. And so, having that working knowledge, because a lot of times people think that the stuff that they collected over the course of a lifetime still holds that value that they paid for. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. A lot of times the pieces that they're overlooking that they don't think are bringing the money are what we make the money on. Mm-hmm. And so having that knowledge and experience, and we're able to show the clients, hey, this is what's popular, this is what's hot. I always like to tell people, think about who has the disposable income right now. those are your buyers. You know, we grew up, you know, with Star Wars, and you know, when my parents grew up, it was the Cowboys and stuff like that. And now we have this generation that was Bart Simpson and stuff like that. So that's the stuff people are collecting, is that late 80s, early 90s into the 2000s stuff, you know. And same thing with furniture, you know, same thing with clothing, vintage clothing. All that stuff changes. So you always look towards those people who have the disposable income to see what's hot, what's popular, and staying up with the trends, you know.
I think that's what I had experienced with you. I had used you on a estate sale. People were moving across town. So not only did you come in, organize, sell, give them a good amount of money back for everything that you'd sold, you also moved the stuff they needed across town to their new house. And you charged for all that. You came up and you said, okay, here's how much it's going to be to do this scope of work. So that's what I noticed about you, is that you're really good at looking at what it is that you do. Here's my menu of services. Let's see what you need.
Yeah.
And you go into that with that client in a really nice way and say, okay, here's what we do. Tell me what you want to do. Rather than, here's what I do. This is, you know, it's yes or no.
Yeah.
And the client could, because I know the clients are nervous about this at first. They don't understand it. They think an estate sale means you're going to come in with a dumpster and take everything and leave. Yeah. And that's not what you do. And once they understand it, there's a real high value for the client.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, and that's why we're a commission-based company. We work off a commission, so that, you know, it pushes us to get the most out of the stuff we're moving. And we also look at, you know, you also have to look at how much stuff we're going to have to get rid of, and how much stuff is there, and what the value of this stuff is. But you know, the providing these services so that the client can be as hands-on or hands-off as they want.
Right.
You know, a lot of times when it is unfortunately a death in the family, you know, there's that emotional attachment. And then when you're getting rid of all your stuff, we understand that it is your life that you build up when you're, you know, or it's what you grew up with. If it's, you know, a family member, it's the things that you remember about those people, and we want to cherish them. And a lot of times people want their stuff validated. They want to know that they got a fair price for the stuff that they thought was important. And that's what you have to look at and try and get that money for them. And you also have to be honest when you say, hey, look, this is just not bringing what you think. Yeah. And be able to tell people, you know, hey, if you really think this is you know, pass this on to somebody else. You know what I mean? So
the Giants football helmet lamp that's been on the thing that what you think is worth thousands of dollars is maybe worth $10 to somebody, right?
Yeah, it's what the market will bear.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times people, you know, they make the mistake of going on eBay. Well, look, I found one of these here selling for $1,000. You know, well, anybody can list it for $1,000 on eBay. You have to look and see what they're selling for, and what they're selling for locally, and take into consideration what you'd have to ship for and stuff. So
okay, so just kind of to wrap this up a little bit, so we talked about where you came from, why you have the capability to do this, the capacity of your company to do everything that somebody might need, from cleaning to trash outs and everything in between. Then we talked about the process, meeting with the client, assessing whatever their needs are, what they've got and what they want to have done from your menu of services, and then how you'll execute that. When do you come in, when do you organize it, when do you have the sale, and what happens after the sale. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was the value to the client. And I can tell you personally, having been with many clients now that have used Tom's services, the value is they're sitting there during my listing presentation talking about all the great things the Fontaine team does, and we do great things here. And all they're thinking sometimes in their head is, what am I going to do with all my shit? And I know that now. And when I bring that up, I can see this visual sort of release of tension, because they think, oh, this guy knows what I'm thinking. Because the reality is they might have been there 10, 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden they've got a full house full of stuff. They don't even know what they've got. They don't even know where to start. And that's what I found that the highest value for Tom's company is to my clients, is he comes in, he settles everybody down, comes up with a plan, and next thing you know, it's all gone. Everybody's gotten some money out of it. And we can move on from the house, and it's just great. It's super high value for the clients. So, do you have anything else you want to say about it? I mean,
I tell you, it is, and it's great working with somebody like you and Fontaine Realty family, because you know, taking care of everything in these stressful times when you know you're making this big move is important, and you know, making the timelines. You know, that's one thing we pride ourselves on, is hitting those timelines. You say it needs to be done by this time. you know, we get out there and make sure it's done so that, you know, the client isn't worrying about anything, and making sure that the client's kept in the loop, you know, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Tom. And, you know, anything that I can do for you, let me know. And
Yeah,
you
same
obviously know I'll be calling on you. I've already got, I think we've got 2 contracts we're working on now. You do a great job. So I appreciate you coming into the doghouse.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, don't forget, today's the day. Don't dog it.